Hello and welcome to another Deck Tech with this time we are going to be going back to playing some Standard. And I know right now Standard is not in the best place right now, just mainly because of the elephant in the room, VV, being kind of a nuisance in the format. So we're going to kind of not play VV here and play something that is rather interesting that I've been kind of finding a little bit of a decent matchup against all the VV decks going around. I still think maybe blue-white is the better way to go, but we're going to do some kind of spicy that I've been playing for like the last 2 weeks, and we're pretty much an Azorius control deck combining with Rakdos. So for the old term's sake, we are Jeskai Black is the old term for it, but I like to call it Azorius Rakdos control. And the reason why we're kind of splashing here for the red and black, we're splashing mostly some of the red for Lightning Helix, Jeskai Revelation, and Inedible Defeat, but you're also splashing the black mainly for this card. I mean, you also have Duress in the sideboard, but with Inedible Defeat, I've been loving this card. It's been overperforming. It's a card that just allows you to take any problematic threat that's on the battlefield. And it's also a spell that cannot be countered. With all the VV decks going around, with post-sideboard, they always have like some kind of counter spells like Disdainful Strokes, Negates, and Spell Pierce. This is something that plays around it and is able to kind of disrupt their combo. Now I kind of wish we had Supreme Verdict because I would rather be playing that over Ultima, but Ultima is also another reason why we are playing it, just because it destroys all artifacts and creatures and just ends the turn right away. So yeah, let's just go through the deck really quick, and then we'll go to the sideboard and pretty much jam into a league and see how we do. So, yeah, kind of starting with this. You kind of have your typical control package here. What we're doing, originally I used to have 4 Lightning Helix. I actually took out 1 Helix for a Long Goodbye. If you're not familiar with this card, this is also another card that cannot be countered, so I guess I forgot about this black card as well too. But this is also something that stops VV from, well, it kills VV, and it's a spell that cannot be countered. Now I really wish the mana value was 4 or less, because this could also take care of Kaito, but 3 or less we'll take it as is. But Lightning Helix, Defeat, we have ways to kind of gain life, as well as Jeskai Revelation. 7 mana is a lot for this card, and as the games go along, this is definitely your best card to draw into. And this thing has pretty much like 5 modes on it, and anytime I get to cast this card and it resolves, you're pretty much way ahead of the game. But one of your main win cons here, besides River Region being just a 4 of, and the original list used to run 2 Mystical Teachings, which was fine with getting things like Jeskai Revelation. But I kind of found that River Region just ended up being a better card, just because it's the same mana, but it's also a threat at the same time. So we're playing 4 of these, and these cards have been fantastic. But yeah, your other win cons can be Inedible Defeat and Lightning Helix when your opponent has kind of a low life total. Now you're probably eyeballing this Final Showdown. The reason why we're playing Final Showdown is the abilities on here are kind of important. Pretty much the top mode and the bottom mode have been the most common that I've been using. But you can also cast this just for an additional mana to make your opponent not have like any combo interactions with VV for the turn. Stops like Indestructible. You can also, if you do all modes, you can actually save one of your own creatures, and for the most part, you pretty much have the River Region or you have these Monk tokens. So keep in mind too, this is a card while on the stack is a 1 mana cost card, so it can't be Disdainful Strokes even if you try to pay the additional cost with Spree. So it's something to kind of keep in mind. Funny enough, if Mental Misstep was legal in the format, you could Mental Misstep this. And speaking of which, 3 Steps Ahead is also in here. Great for copying things like River Regent, great counterspell overall. All the modes here are great. But we're only just playing 2. And then 4 No More Lies, 4 consult the star charts. Jeez, I cannot talk. This is just your dig through time as the games get long. Fantastic card. Love having 4 of these. Doing a 1-0 stock up, of course, this card kind of gets taken out at times depending on our matchups. VV combos, like when we're on the draw, it's something I usually take out. Some number of revelations here. And then you got your mana base here. I was kind of experimenting with starting town for a minute, but I found that to be kind of too much of a liability. So I kind of took them out because in each of your turns, you're pretty much like almost playing something at like you're starting, no pun intended, but like your starting turn 1 play is usually something with a tap land most of the time, and then anywhere from like turn 2 to turn 7 can actually matter so much that if you have a starting town that comes in after turn 4, it kind of like having it come into play tapped can again just kind of be too much of a liability. So I took out some of those to add in some of these verges, some things that would actually kind of match. Now, I do have times where it's like you will have, what is a good example, like Godless Shrine with this like verge land right here, this with Sacred Foundry. So there can be a little bit of an unfortunate series of like having a weird mana base, and I'm sure we'll experience that in this video, of course. So. But yeah, this is the mana base. I kind of like where it's at. This is kind of an addition I added after my first RCQ with this. I think as the games go late, this is a great draw engine. Gets you pretty much closer to what your actual answers. Love this card overall. Village, great against like opposing control decks or anything that just plays counter magic. It did come up quite a bit in one of my top 8s. Or yeah, I'm sorry, before getting into top 8. I played against a VV deck where being able to pay an additional 2 to cast River Regent was kind of spicy. So, but yeah, sideboard, we'll just run through this really quick so that way we're not doing like a 10-minute deck tech video on this. But Duress is the other black card right in here, great for control of combo decks. Fire Magic, this is probably a card I might end up taking out at some point, but it's good against like those like Orzhov Brain, Raise the Past decks. High Noon. Obviously for VV, we don't want them casting more than 1 spell or even any spells, realistically. Same thing, Rest in Peace. A lot of these cards will actually be a lot of hate for VV since it's obviously the top contender in this format right now. Flash Freeze, another one. Great card overall too. It's probably been one of my favorite sideboards. Negates, kind of being a staple in sideboards. Conqueror, another favorite of mine. Also kind of came up against like things like Insidious Roots where it stops their mana dorks. Typebinder for the... BB or what was it? Soul Cauldron as well. Last but not least, we gotta play one of my favorite. Well, Snapcaster Mage being my favorite card, but something that is kind of like Snapcaster Mage, but just a little bit more expensive. But this is also good against like Dimir midrange or against other control decks. You just attack with it, and you can sit there. It's basically a threat, but you can use this to get things like Lightning Helix, Inedible Defeat, anything that's an instant or sorcery. So. But yeah, that is the deck tech. I'm pretty sure I kind of missed some right there. Kind of was all over the place. But let's get right to the matches and see how we do. Cool. Alright, so we're starting off round 1. It looks like our opponent is on the play. So 4 lands and 3 spells here. This is kind of our typical opener for a control deck. Luckily enough, we can actually cast all our spells here. This is one of the reasons why we play some of these Surveil lands, because like this right here would only be able to tap for red, but since we have Archive, we can actually now produce red and blue. So I think when we start our turn, I think we will still lead with Shadowy Backstreet because this is our only black source and we want it to come into play tapped. Because again, we're not really doing anything on turn 1. So we'll keep this hand on the blind. I think this seems like a fine hand. This is kind of like a typical keep for a deck like this. Spire Buff Canal, and we might just be playing VV deck right off the bat. Can't imagine what other Izzet deck would be in the format right now, but could be in for a surprise. Now this is going to be our 5th land. Unfortunately, it comes into play tapped. like I said earlier in the video, pretty much after turn 2, a lot of our lands kind of want to come into play untapped unless we're not really doing anything for that turn, or until we get back to our other turns. So I kind of want to just keep this just because it's a surveil land and we can always dig to another spell. Oh, okay, it's an opt. Could still be a VV combo deck. Could also be just Izzet Prowess too. Sleight of hand could still be. Alright. So opponent not really doing anything on turn 2, which is great for us. Because if they're just going to continue to just like cast spells and not commit to anything on the board here, I think we're in really good shape here. So I guess if they do play like a VV next turn, we just want to hold up mana for a get lost, so we'll just do this. Now this is kind of where it kind of becomes a little bit awkward, where maybe if we want to hold up mana for 3 steps ahead, we might have to do that. They're just playing stock up, okay. That's their turn 3, and not committing anything to the board. I think we're in good shape here. And of course they're playing a timely starting down, so that comes into play untapped. Now we could play a Consult the Star Charts, but because we have at least 4 mana here, I like being able to cast this on turn 4. Okay. So I guess they could probably play a creature on turn 4 if they wanted to. They could also play a planeswalker. They could also play like a planeswalker like Ral. That's not something I don't know if I want to resolve. Of course, we do have an answer with Get Lost. Because I think if we just lead with a tap line here and just keep up Get Lost or Consult, just in case we can. And I kind of like being able to hold up 4 mana untapped with this, so let's lead with a tapped land. Long Goodbye, I'm not really seeing the use for this just yet. Of course, I could see it being kind of important later on if they are playing things like VV or some other creature threat. So we'll just ship it back. Or of course doing what Control does best, just play land go. Or draw land go. And it looks like they're kind of doing the same. So this could just be like maybe an Izzet control deck. Alright, so we play this. This turns on all our lands available for defeat. Or am I missing something here? Oh yeah, because there's no legal target. Okay. Of course it says non-land permanent. If I could actually hit lands with this card, oh my god, that would be so great. I would probably hit this like starting town. It's probably been a while since Wizards has made something that's like 4 or 5 that deals with any kind of permanent. Consult the Star Charts with Kicker Cost. So this looks like is a control deck of some variant. So yeah, we'll let this resolve. We don't really just want to tap out on our turn. Now we could also cast our own stall. Actually, let's just put a stop if we can, because we could also do the same here too. But I guess if we tap out, they can also play a threat on turn 5. They could play. I don't know what they're really playing on turn 5. It's not like they're splashing white for like Elspeth of some sort. Stormchaser's Talent. Okay. I'm really confused here because I don't know. This kind of feels more like a Prowess deck at this point. Well, they're going to spend 4 mana on their turn to bring something back. That's really good. I believe if they try to go for level 2, we can actually defeat this in response. Yeah. So let's actually do that. Yep. Because it's part of the activation cost, so they just spent 4 mana for pretty much nothing there, which is good for us. So we drew River Regent. that's good for us because we can actually play this land tapped. Oh, we also are drawing a stock up, but no guarantee of a 6th land. I still think I want to keep a stock up here. I guess the question is if we wanted to like just use this turn to like cast. I would rather cast River Region since we want to draw this. Normally I'm not a big fan of tapping out when we have a counterspell here. With 4 mana, I think they could probably play like double spell for the turn. So let's just use this turn to actually draw 3 cards. Fortunately we draw a tap land here. Wow. Kind of a hard pick here since I kind of want to have these 2 counterspells, stock ups in hand. We could also use stock up and No More Lies. A lot of good stuff here. Kind of want to save Get Lost in case they do have some Planeswalker. Ooh. And we definitely need the land. Oh, this is really tough. Of course, I can see these counterspells kind of being dead over time, so we probably kind of need a double spell for the turn. Wow. I was kind of hoping we would have drawn 2 lands here. I would have just discarded a land. Alright. Well, we need to make a decision here, so I think this may not be right, but we're probably just going to discard 3 steps ahead. I know maybe No More Lies will not be so great as this game kind of progresses, but if this is like Izzet Prowess, then a 3-mana spell countering their 1 drops or 2 drops doesn't seem all that great. Oh, well, that's definitely a good one to counter, but of course we have tapped out for it. Luckily we didn't discard or get lost, so we can at least destroy this. Alright, so we play a tap land here. River Region off the top, not guaranteeing us a land next turn unless we use the Omen side. Still want to keep this. Oh, I guess I usually like to play stock up first and then play the tap land, because we may want this card, but we don't know what the other 4 cards could be. So I kind of like being able to get lost this now, while they're tapped out. Really want to play stock up, but I think we'll wait a turn to do that. No. This is where 3 steps ahead would be better. Actually, I should have done this earlier. There we go. I was supposed to do this before the start of my round 1, so I apologize for this being all blocked. Alright, sleight of hand. I think we want to respond to... Let's see, we could actually just get lost to one of these, so they can make this creature pretty powerful. See if they actually go in on these map tokens.
I got to the part where they play Shadow Paw.
Okay, so there's a VV off the top. They're obviously going to keep that no surprise. We could try Lightning Helix as 3/3, but if they have a spell in response, then it'll pretty much counter our Helix, or at least it won't kill the creature. We'll still gain the 3 life. I think we can take 7 damage here. Alright, so they're... Ultima would be kind of nice here. But of course, if they have a Spell Pierce, that's also bad for us. So because VV starts as a 0-3, God, it's so stupid that it also starts as a 0-3. You can always respond to when they cast their first non-creature spell with Lightning Helix. You can also try to have them play VV next turn and then no more lives to force them to tap out. So we'll kill this 4/4 creature. Probably could have saved the 4 damage, but with 2 mana open, not sure what they could have done. And of course we knew that we were going to draw this. Can't imagine that they have any way to counter this. The only counter spell I would think they would have is like Spell Pierce. So we could bounce both of these, have a 6/7 threat, and then try to beat them down with this 6/7, kill them in 3 turns. So let's actually try to go for that. Be a little surprised if they have like a Disdainful Stroke. They do not. So we'll bounce the 2 tokens. Of course, we do tap out for this. I do understand. Or no more lives, which could have been like a 3 steps ahead, but I was kind of planning I turned to where I kind of wanted to do both of these. Oh cool, they're going to bounce back. Well, that's fine. We bounced 2 tokens that they will not be able to recast. So obviously they're playing VV here. No surprise. I'm kind of curious on the follow-up here. Stock up. Ooh, well right. Wow, that's really good. And they're gonna have 5 mana. Wow. Keep forgetting this card sometimes exists for this reason. So now they can produce 5 mana. Curious on how they spend this 5 mana. I could see them activating for level 2. That would be not too bad. Oh wow, they're just gonna try to boost up their VV here. I think they're just gonna try to kill us. Yeah, one more instant or they could just recast this. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it's just kind of ridiculous on how good VV is. And that was kind of a lesson where it's like you just don't really tap out for VV or tap out against a card like VV because they just kill you out of nowhere. Alright, so it looks like, I mean, it could just be a different variant of Cauldron. Just not used to seeing like things like Opt and Sleight of Hand, so it kind of makes me think it's still more Prowess. I think regardless, we still want to sideboard as if it's mostly just Cauldron. We'll bring in things like High Noon, which was previously good against Prowess, just because of Corey's Steel Cutters. So we have High Noons, we're going to be taking out Final Showdown. Probably all these Jeskai Revelations, they're good, but just a little too expensive here. We do want to bring in a Rest in Peace. Take out a stock up here. Thought I brought in the Duress. I think we'll probably take out some of these 3 steps ahead. The only thing I kind of do want to bring in is Dishonest Highbinder. This is where it gets a little bit tricky because you kind of want to bring in all these. Well, actually, here we go. We do want to take out 2 more lives for negates, just so we can have a way to counteract it against their other counter spells. Counter spells just overall just don't seem all that great. Well, at least with the expensive counter spells, like 2 mana negate seems a lot better than a 3 steps ahead when you have to deal with like Soul Cauldron or other counter spells. So the other thing is I could take out Ultima, but this card's just really, really good. So I think I just want to kind of ship this back and see how we do for game 2. So. Yeah, it started off pretty promising in game 1 too, since they weren't really doing anything for like turn 5 or 6. Alright. Another interesting hand here. Don't think we're doing duress on just turn 1 unless we want to. Well, I guess if they have. God, what is it? Thing that makes an otter token. Storm Chaser's talent. We'll keep this hand. They don't, but they do have a Ral. 2 consults, which we could try to take one, but they have 2 mana. Well, and they have 2 mana and a sleight of hand, so yeah, we obviously take the bigger threat here. And maybe they just get stuck on 2 lands. So they're thinking on their Surveil here. Not sure what it could be. Could be a like VV trying to draw a 3rd land. Alright. Need one of Archive. Yeah, we'll keep a High Noon. This is a cool card. We'll play High Noon since they're tapped out. They can use Into the Flood Maul to return this back to hand if need be. We'll keep this negate. Well, it's the only spell they can cast this turn. Alright, now we have Defeat, which can answer these tokens. Now I'm pretty sure they'll use Maul to return this High Noon. Would not surprise me. They decide to not do that. Since they can't play anything else here, we'll just target the token. We could target the card itself, but I'd rather get rid of the actual threat here. I'm missing on our 4th drop here, and that's unfortunate, but we'll just ship it back. Oh, of course, my cat in the background just knocking things over. The timely starting town. Alright. Yeah, here we'll take the 2, maybe more. Alright. They decide to not do anything for the turn. Interesting. And this might be their turn to maybe cast a spell while they still can. Alright, and they still don't play anything. Cool. Fine by me. Now we are missing the extra red for a Quarry Mountain. But we do have the mana to sacrifice the High Noon if it comes down to that. opponent could cast a Consult here, and they're not kicking it, which is nice. Don't think we actually negate here. I'm just curious if we want to River Region here. Let's see. Let's put a stop here. Let's make them decide on what they want. Cool. Oh man. Once again, we want all of these cards. But we haven't really seen anything graveyard interaction besides Storm Chasers. So I could see like discarding this Rest in Peace. Kind of like all these other cards, so Rest in Peace might not be the best choice here, but we're going to bin it anyways. Alright, so their spell for the turn is Stock Up. That's fine. Luckily we have this Verge now too, and that's another reason why we want to keep it, so we can actually now start using this activation. But at some point could end up activating this, or what is it, casting into the Flood Maul. Okay, Sleight of Hand. It's a good thing that we got rid of these creatures, because, yeah, these creatures would just kill us. Alright, opponent not doing anything, that's great for us. And we want to hit lands, which is exactly what we drew here. That's right. Alright, so we drew Village, but we want to use this land for... I think we want to put this into play untapped, just so we can have options for these spells and activate this. Don't like having to pay 2 life to do it, but I think we'll be fine. So this is, so we could negate this back. They have 5 cards in hand. I kind of like having to negate this. We could say the negate for things like Into the Flood Maul. Another Stock Up. That's fine. Well, not really. But they're not casting anything else for their turn. Alright. Activate this. We draw our Consult. We could do this for 2 just to pick 1 card, but I like being able to get 2 cards here. Yeah. Now, opponent has the option to counter this. Yeah, we'll auto pay. Alright. Actually, this is kind of funny. Easy choice here. We'll just take the 2 spells here. Yeah, another weird thing here too is like the way it tapped, we should have had this mana open for Lightning Helix or Get Lost, so hopefully that doesn't end up biting us here. Okay, well, they're playing Vivi and not like Into the Flood Maul first and then Vivi. So that is fine for us. I guess, do we want to consult the star charts? No. I would have loved to have 2 mana, or just like even just play Lightning Helix just to kill this thing, but unfortunately we cannot. Alright. Oh yeah, because we don't have a mountain yet. This land will sometimes come into play untapped because of our Sacred Foundries, but I got that mixed up. Alright, we'll play another High Noon just so they have to have ways to bounce this one and bounce the other. same time, we can also pitch one of these to kill this VV if we absolutely need to. We'll respond to a spell that they cast. Yeah, they're equipping. That's fine. Alright, so here we'll respond. Perfect time to kill VV with this Lightning Helix. Feels like this is probably going to be a long match. I can see us winning game 2 here and going straight to game 3. Of course, these control decks that I post on YouTube average about 2 hours long, so I'll try to play pretty quick so not being bored here. Probably will do some serious editing in between. Alright, so we can only cast one spell each turn, so I think this is a time to consult. We can make it to where it can't be countered. See how they want to tap for it. Alright, so leaving two white mana open. Alright. See if our opponent wants to counter this. Probably the only time to actually do so. Okay. I can see an argument for Negate and River Regent. Inedible Defeat is kind of a little bit too cute right now. But let's take these 2 cards. Cool. Of course, one thing to kind of keep in mind though, if we do have if we get Inedible Defeat, that would put our opponent down to 11. So one thing to keep in mind is like we have 2 High Noons that essentially deal 10 damage. So we can actually be on this like burn route. Storm Teacher's Talent. I think I'm okay with that. Of course they can also activate the ability to get something back here. Yeah, we'll negate this. I think just for the turn there we probably could have just made sure it can't be countered. Again, I think this is another consult turn. See if our opponent wants to negate here. Looks like they do. Another Storm Chaser. Okay. Yeah, so they'll activate level 2. Oh, we should have get lost that in response. Whoops. They're gonna bring back their negate. Oh yeah, why didn't we use this last turn? That was really bad. That's why we have this card in this deck for that reason. All right. Okay, well, we could have another consult here. Do have to worry about this going to chapter 6, but I guess if they want to spend 6 mana, 5, 6, they'll have 2 mana after that. Alright, I think we just discard this Lightning Helix. Oh wait, no, we should have kept that because of the damage. Okay. 2, 4, and then have 4 mana open after that. Alright, so we'll make it to where the next spell can't be countered. Opponent wants to try to counter this, by all means. Do it. I think we only just bounce the token. I don't think we need to bounce talent and then give them another card advantage. I think we actually have them spend 6 mana. Sure, they can spend 6 mana and then cast the next spell, but then they're only limited to just 1. Alright. So that's their aim for the turn. Luckily this long goodbye is going to be excellent here. I think we actually just have lethal next turn. Cool. Suddenly our control deck just kind of almost just one-shots them. So, alright. That would actually stop with Tidebinder. I think I still like what we have here. I don't really know what else we would want to take out. And Ultimas are just like the only card that it's a little expensive here, but we want to be able to have. And we might get to a situation where there's like multiple creatures on the board. We do have a decent amount of removal though, so let's take out like maybe one Ultima and then bring in a Tishana's Tidebinder. I think the Rest in Peace there would have been kind of useful at some point to just deal with the graveyard stuff. I don't even know if they actually are playing Soul Cauldron. We haven't seen it yet. But I think just Rest in Peace just for Storm Chaser's talent by itself is well worth it. So we'll see how we do for game 3. I thought our opponent took a mulligan there. We'll keep this. High-Noon will definitely slow them down quite a bit. Assuming it resolves. Excellent. Defeat is an excellent draw. Love being able to draw this card every time we have the mana for it. We haven't really run into an issue with our mana base, thankfully enough. Okay, so our opponent probably holding up a Spell Pierce here. I don't like having to just jam a High-Noon. So we'll just ship it back. We could try it, but I just feel like that could just not end well for us. See if our opponent maybe plays something here. Nope, they're just gonna ship it back. Alright. We'll ship it back, we'll hold up mana for Tidebinder, or Consult if we absolutely need to. Alright, so our opponent playing a Vivi here. Wonder if they'll actually follow it up with something on this turn. They do not. Ooh, that is good. Put a stop on the end step here. Our opponent does not even try to Spell Pierce it. They could try to bounce this back. Oh yeah, because we've already played our spell for the turn. We'll do this now just so they can't do anything with that mana. That's fine for us because we can recast this again. It's pretty good. Cool. Well, darn it. I was like, oh, our opponent's playing a spell, hopefully it's not a card draw, but it is. So now they'll have 4 cards in hand. But they are tapping out to do this, so they know that we can recast this. So I like it just being able to cast High-Noon. I don't want them to just go crazy with this card. So we'll just kind of ship it back. Allow them to play a spell for the turn. So a Storm Chaser's Talon, we could... This would stop the artifact itself, and then we could just block it. Oh, wait a minute. What the heck? I thought this stopped the whole thing. Oh, that's weird. Okay. Not what I was really expecting, but alright. So that's an ability from an artifact. Oh, it's the card. It's the card itself. I'm sorry, the creature gains his ability. Whoops. Alright. Well, yeah, Tidebender should have countered the second ability. Whoops. Oopsie daisy. Alrighty. I'll kind of get punished for that. But it's alright, we at least get rid of that threat. Kind of need to hit a land drop here, so... Yeah, I think we pay 4. Damn, kind of want all these cards. Oh wait, well, we can take 2 at least. Watergrave. We have another consult, so I don't think we need that. Flash Freeze would be the other thing. Get lost, maybe, just so, in case they try to level up next turn. Yeah, let's do that. Let's pay 2 life. Leave this as a blocker. Yeah, this High Noon. So great against these Prowess or Cauldron decks. Really hoping we can just take this third one down. Okay, so our opponent equipping. And actually like being able to counter this now while we have the chance. Yeah, we'll take 3 from this. Well, we drew our 7th land, which, one thing to kind of note, we do not have Jeskai Revelation. Alright. So because they have 2 mana open, they could have a Disdainful Stroke, so I don't know about jamming a River Regent, since it doesn't seem like it's... we don't want to spend 6 mana to just bounce a token here. We could just use these 2. I'm just kind of wondering if we need to cast something on this turn. I don't think we need to. We can actually just put a stop on our end step. Okay. Just in case they wanted to, like, into the Flood Maw and we can respond to, like, casting a spell. Of course, we would be able to play multiple spells here. And it looks like they're being kind of patient on this into the Flood Maw. So that'll gain them another token. This is where River Regent can bounce both of these tokens. They have 3 mana open. I think here we'll actually block, because I don't want to go down to 10. And end of turn we'll cast a Consult, see if they want to, like, negate this. Oh wow. They didn't have any response. Well, I guess they had a spell there. Duh. Lightning Helix can... or what is this? This is a 4/4 currently. So I wonder if we just need to take... Lightning Helix and Do we need to worry about an 8th land here? 7, because we then have River Region bounce and then 2 mana open. So I guess Get Lost and a land here is probably ideal. Yeah, because we already have 2 removal spells and we're gonna have these 2 to deal with these. I'm just kind of wondering if they actually have like a Disdainful Stroke. Well, I think we just have to jam. That's the only thing that deals with this River Region. Because they can't negate it or Spell Pierce it. Cool. It resolves. We'd love to see that. Excellent. That was a huge payoff there. Alright. Fully aware that we do have, well, yeah. Fully aware that we did know that they had that, so now they can kind of go crazy with this. Luckily enough with Vivi here, they actually have to spend 3 mana to do this. 2 mana. Ah, man. Why do I feel like there's just a Spell Pierce here? I think we still just kind of have to go for it. I don't see why they wouldn't try to go for this. Yeah. Alright, so they have 5 mana. God, Vivi is so annoying. They can do this again. Oh, they're just gonna equip, that's fine. They can't. They used all their blue mana. They could have used it on this. Oh wow, and they have this as an 8/8. Jeez. Yeah, this card just comes out of nowhere. Oh my goodness. I don't really like blocking here. I know this puts us down to 3. Defeat this now. Go up to 6. Now we have 2 mana open for negate and get lost. Problem is though, I don't know if I want to be attacking with both of these creatures. Actually no, we just play High Noon and I think we're in good shape here because whatever spell that they cast, we can just, yeah, we want to play High Noon, and then if they play a non-creature spell, we can negate it. If they play a creature, we can kill it with Get Lost. And they can play a creature, but they can't while it's in. And I think we just win here, because we just activate this for 5, attack them for 6, yeah, they're just dead. Cool, so we definitely take down against, is it Prowess or is it Cauldron? Seems like it's just a mixture of whatever you want to call this thing. Boom. We'll lava axe them the old fashioned way. Cool. Got round 1 against combination of Prowess or Cauldron. I still don't really know. I think it's just more Prowess than anything else. So I think I'll just like title this as a Prowess deck. So yeah, stay tuned for round 2. We're playing round 2. We are up a match against Izzet Prowess. We're just calling it Izzet Prowess. Does have VV in it, so that at least checks out. And of course here is a disadvantage with these Verge lands. This basic plains is kind of unfortunate too if we're playing against a Demolition Field or Assassin's Trophy. Does allow us to cast our Consult, and we do have red, white, no black. We are on the play, so we can at least use this mana to at least use one consult. I actually do want to keep it since we are on the play. Opponent is taking a mulligan though. Fine by us. Alright. We'll just play this Verge land to kind of make them think that we're on a Dimir mid-range plan. Since we drew this, we will lead with another Verge. Again, we'd like to make them think we're on Dimir. Speaking of Dimir, ooh, interesting. Are we playing a mirror match here? That would be awesome. We'll actually kind of see how this goes. I don't think we'll do it just yet. I mean, we could play this over this just in case we need to get lost something. I don't think we're... If this is actually just the mirror match, then we're not really doing anything at all. Cool. We actually might be playing an actual mirror match, because I can't imagine any other deck not playing these. Basic island. Or we're only just playing just the basic planes. Alright. So we're gonna consult. They can also consult in response to. Looks like they're just gonna normalize. Makes me think that they have another one in hand. Alright. And we have our normalize. So opponent's stuck at 4 mana here. So what do we do here? I think we consult, but we don't kick here. Well, looked like they were almost ready to throw a counterspell our way, so Watery Grave will actually turn on all these except for the Bardos land. But our Plains is also keeping this in check, so yeah, we'll get a Watery Grave. Ooh, nice. And Village is actually great in this matchup too, since it'll make everything uncounterable. We will actually play this Watery Grave untapped. That way we have 3 steps ahead and no more lies. Okay, so yeah, this is the 4-color deck that is running Mystical Teachings. Not a bad one. We actually will normalize this since it has the ability to have flashback. I could see them trying to get like a consult stock up. Kind of wish we had a 5th mana here. I'm really struggling with some lands here, I'm guessing. Of course, they are up on cards. Alright. Yeah, we'll try to play a little bit quick since they're like 2 minutes ahead on the clock here. Yeah. I could see them kind of just taking game 1 here. Their mana base is a little bit interesting, so they're playing Thundering Falls. Speaking of which, we're playing Shadowy Backstreet. Ultima can probably deal with these Jeskai, what is it, the tokens here. But I think we're going to bin that. 5 mana do nothing card on this board state doesn't seem all that great. What does seem great is if we actually top deck a Jeskai Revelation, we have this village that we can also make uncounterable. I just don't know if I want to expose it yet, so we'll just pass. Got the shrine. Alright, archive. Let's get a just got revelation or something here. 7. Might actually want to keep this no more lies just because it does answer this just got revelation. Still won't play village yet. Of course, over time I can see this no more lies just not being all that great. But this does keep just got revelation in check at least. So a little discard. Yeah, ultimate seems like the wise choice there. I'm sure they're probably sitting on some of these as well. Alright, so now we actually want to play this village since now we actually have River Regent. Opponent probably not too thrilled to be seeing that. Which is great for us too. So they're not going to do anything. Next spell is uncounterable. Alright, so they can go for a Just Got Revelation, but they're 1 mana shy from paying the 3 here. Okay, I mean, we're not going to use our Normalize on this. Kind of surprised that they're doing this now, since we could have the ability to counterspell it with like 3 steps ahead. I don't know, this list is also kind of running a different mana base. Slight different mana base. Inevitable Defeat just doesn't seem good here, so we'll actually ship it back. And of course we could try to cast or consult star charts, but I don't think that's wise. Could also just bend the Lightning Helix, but Lightning Helix at least deals damage here. Now we'll just fire a Lightning Helix. I don't think we're doing anything crazy with this. They want to counter that, that's fine. Yeah, especially since we're on a chess clock here, we want to be kind of conservative of our time. I think I'm okay with casting stock up. If they want to try to counter this, that's fine. Normalize and River Regent seem pretty good. Pass the turn to them. Since now we can actually try to counter it twice. 6. Okay, so we're 1 mana shy. 3, 6, 7. So I don't know if I actually want to play River Regent here, or yeah, we'll wait a turn here. Okay. I mean, our Normalize is not going to be seeing any kind of value here, so we might as well. Of course, they could have another one. But it's not like it's all that bad, too. So they're going to play one of their own as well in response to ours. Now, important thing to note here, they can't counter it. They could try to counter it, but it just won't get countered. Yeah, Jeskai Revelation seems good here. I think getting a 3 steps ahead also seems reasonable here. Play an archive. And also the number of cards in our deck can also end up mattering here. I think I like keeping a normalize here. One, two, three, 6. Interesting. Just need to be able to kill our opponent within a reasonable amount of time here. Now, Jeskai Revelation can't counter this. Well, counter, since it returns the spell. Yeah, we'll let them have the tokens. I'm sure they can try to... We can try the 3 steps ahead, but we'll try it again. This also allows them to discard. Ultima... Kill these 2 creatures... We'll definitely normalize here. Oh, okay, they're just gonna jam a lightning helix. They've played their second... Or what is that? So I'm assuming that they have one more left in the deck, and we're... Let's see. And this is our 1 of 3 Jeskai Revelations. So we'll bounce this, and we'll deal 4 damage. And we'll cast their last one. Hopefully it's their last one. Okay. Do this, we'll bounce their tokens. Yeah, this card is just so great in this matchup because I feel like they would be so far ahead. 5, 6, we're 1 mana shy to cast our Revelation. Now, they could have Inedible Defeat, which can eventually kill us. But if we're using Revelation to gain our life back, that's fine. So this would put us down to 4. Something we do need to kind of keep in mind, though, is if they have... Let's see, they have two Lightning Helixes that they use. Did I see one in exile? No. They could just kill us with back-to-back Lightning Helix, so let's just get lost to our own thing. That way it counters the lost life here. And they also can't gain life, too. Ooh, yes. Important land in this matchup. Now, we're up ahead by 2 cards. I think that's fine. Because as this game goes long, I'm sure they'll deck out before we do, but they are also ahead on time by, well, 4 minutes. We're definitely kind of durdling around here. Let's see. Continue to bounce that Watery Grave. Ooh, do they have a fourth one here. They have the fourth one. Wow. 3. So we're one shy. We'll pay the 3, but they probably have another one here. Wow. Okay, well. That's all 4 of them at least. Yeah, we're gonna do this now. Excellent. One mana? Fire magic. Interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, yeah, that kills our tokens. That was stupid. Of course, they can have an Ultima here. Well, our opponent might kind of tank for our minute here, too, because we're definitely up ahead, and... See, we were just now tied on cards left in deck. They're playing Fire Magic main board. 2. So yeah, they've definitely used all their lightning, or not lightning healers, but Jeskai Revelations. And they're using the Helix to kill one of these creatures. And a defeat on that one, which will bring us down to 8. No, actually we'll just keep it. Because I think we're just winning the game just by them decking out. We'll basically counter this. I mean, we could also no more Liza too. Yeah, I think we actually just win this game just by them decking out. Yeah, and they also surveil. That's fine. So, let's see. We will... I guess, yeah, we're going to remove this Get Lost. Probably not the best thing to be doing here. Cool. Yeah, I kind of just like shipping it back here. See what they get here. I mean, we're at 11 life. They've already used their Jeskai Revelations, so they're running 4, which is kind of surprising to see. Consult, sure. Are they also going to cast it? I think if they do cast it, we'll do something in response here. They will... Yeah, I kind of wish we were up on time now. Yeah, these games can go extremely long. It's gonna be a long This is gonna be a long recording. I mean, here we probably should play the Verge just because it's like a slight detail, but like having our blue lands out is kind of a little bit more important. I mean, here, this is a tap land, so we'll put it into play tapped. Just kind of curious what our opponent may have. This is where we're just like F6ing quite a bit. Of course, for our opponent, though, they're going to have to be doing more thinking now, because I think here we can just simply just F6. I mean, maybe not quite, but... Oops, meant to play a defeat there, but that's alright. We have like a million mana. It's gotten that late in the game that, yeah. We have to, like, actually use these arrows to filter through our lands. So, let's see, 11 to 6, yeah. I think our opponent's just doing this just to drain the clock. Because last I was on this version of the deck, they were running, I was running 2 river regions, so we killed one of them, and they probably have another one. So, yeah. So we're up a game against the mirror match. It's kind of funny to see here. Flash freeze is kind of important here. This is actually my first time playing against the mirror match. It's my first time playing against it, so take it easy on me. Lightning Helixes can definitely be taken out. Long goodbye as well, so goodbye to that. Ha ha ha. Also kind of depends on what they're bringing in too. I mean, if the sideboard is kind of anything similar to ours, they're probably bringing in Sinks of the Forgotten Lore, so we might want to keep in like maybe. I mean, we definitely want to keep these get lost and inedible defeats, but I could see like maybe taking out one of these. It's kind of funny we didn't see our stock up that game, or did we cast stock up? Or I think we did cast stock up that game. That game went way too long. We could also just keep the 61 cards and just be kind of up a card, up more cards than them. You know what? I'm actually kind of willing to try this out. Just because, like, in the control mirrors, like, if we have more cards than them left in library, that's how we end up winning. So I'm gonna try it. I don't know what I would really want to take out here, but we're actually gonna try something spicy here. We're gonna actually make it a 61 card deck. I mean, definitely changes the mathematics here. Wow. Okay. Well, opponent just didn't want to play game 2. Well, round 2, I guess. But all right. I mean, we'll take it. We are currently 2-0. Last round we played against the mirror match. That was kind of funny. We only ended up just playing just game 1. Our opponent did not want to continue playing game 2. Alrighty, so our opponent is on the play here. We have 2 Verge lands that can only cast for Lightning Helix. We're gonna ship it. Yeah, now we're just playing Boros here, aren't we? I could see just kind of drawn into a Water Grave and just being in good shape here. I don't even know what we could be up against here, but I really don't want to mull it down to 5, but I mean, I guess if we draw a blue land here, we're kind of in good shape. Or Water Grave would be perfect here. Yeah, we'll try it, but we'll I can see this No More Lies not doing good here. Alright, basic planes. We drew another non-blue source here. Weirdly enough, it does cast this, so yeah, we'll keep it on top. Now we're playing like a Mardu deck. Okay. Oh. Are we playing, like, against a mono white... Let's see. Mono white artifacts here? Yeah. Yeah, suddenly we're playing, like, yeah, Mardu control deck. Looks like just mono white artifacts here. Probably still hold up this lightning helix just in case. Okay, now we draw our blue source. I think just in case we get draw double blue. Oh crap! Yeah, because our Sacred Foundry. It's all right. Yeah, mana base can be really tricky here, but of course you have this and this. I was kind of just assuming that we can tap this for an island now. That's fine. I mean, the correct play should have been a Sacred Foundry. It's okay, we get punished with our mistake with a tap land. We'll keep the river region, since now we can actually cast it. Opponent just on mono white here, not really doing anything. Which is fine for us, because I think this feels like a great matchup for us. Okay, they have a basic island. So it looks like there are Azorius artifacts, which we're actually yet to lose against this matchup. Defeat can get rid of Synthesizer there, that's fine. Let's see what they do with their scries here. They don't have well, I guess they would need to have another blue mana here. Yeah, get rid of that. Yeah, we'll play that. We could use River Region to bounce both of these back. Don't think it's really worth it. Yeah, this could just be a straight up Azorius, but I did post a video of this deck splashing red for the Emissary. Pinnacle Emissary. Such a great card. I think that card is so much better in Legacy. Cool. I get Lost, which is kind of already a deck card in this matchup. Really, the only thing it's hitting is like the creatures. Braid Net, that's... yeah, that's fine here. Okay, so they're gonna craft here. Looks like they're gonna try to draw all 3 cards. Well, actually, yeah, they draw this with it too. Yeah, Relic with this is so good. Well, they're just gonna use this opportunity to draw 3 cards. Yeah, that's fine. We'll use this turn to consult. To consult. Yeah. We'll get Defeat and Revelation here. Seems like our best 2 cards. We'll just kind of go with their face here. 7. Could also hold up 8 for this and this, which I'm okay with. Yeah, we're not gonna use that. We'll use like Justicar Revelation for something scarier, like, meh. Show me something that's threatening. I mean, we could braid now, we're not gonna do that. Of course, if they had a synthesizer, they probably would have led with that first. I feel like I should know what craft does. Exile this card, : okay. And we'll actually defeat that right now. Just so they can't draw more cards. But we will draw more cards. Discard that Watery Grave, since we have pretty much all our available mana here. 4, 5, so we have 9 mana. So we can go Revelation and spend the 2 here or here. Definitely in the driver's seat. Let's see, Bathe. I'm sure they can use this to get rid of one of these to get a Synthesizer. 3, 6. Well, let's see. We can make them recast it. Still not going to do much. Thinking. Right, 3 steps ahead. So we could get double three steps ahead, or we can get a river region here. Just go with a river region. I think if we had 6 mana open, I'd like to be able to counter this and whatever else they play next. Maybe we'll just counter. Looks like they're going to try to craft one of these. That's fine by us. And they did have priority. They could have actually tapped their land. I think that was a missed opportunity there, but if they did, notice that we would have just killed the other one in response. 5, 6, 7, 2. Put this into play tapped. And we can use Revelation to kill this creature. Wondering if they're going to try to go with this again. 6 cards in hand, though. They can still do a lot here. I mean, that's fine. We can use Revelation to kill one of these, and then River Region the other 2 things away. I think we're okay with taking 3 here. Interesting, our opponent's kind of ignoring their land over here, because they can tap their creatures. Kind of highly doubt that this deck is playing any counter spells, so I think we should be in good shape. Alright. We could consult. I don't think it's necessary. Oh yeah, and Ultima is the reason why we have such a great matchup. So yeah, this... in case the board state gets overwhelming, we can just go Ultima and just win. Alright, we'll bounce these 2 tokens. I mean, this Numeralize is not really seeing any value here, so I kind of like just being able to just play Consult on this turn, get 4 power here, and put them down to 11. See what we draw into. Yeah, Revelation is one of them. We'll probably just take Defeat. Again, that's the 2 best cards in our deck. Plays land tapped. Yeah. Attack our opponent for 11. Okay. They could probably cast another one. Nope. Looks like they got down to 13. Still fine, because this is at least 7 points of damage. Pinnacle Star Cage. I mean, it does get rid of those things, but... actually, that's kind of smart with our opponent tucking these in, because if we ultimate, they get those cards back. Of course, we have defeat. We can always use on this. We can defeat this. Weirdly enough, bounce this. Now we'll just stock up. Oh my god, river regions for days. Yeah, I think we'll just do an end of turn Jeskai Revelation. Opponent with 11 mana. Oh, they have a village main board. Nice. Okay. I mean, that's fine. They're doing it on their turn and not end of turn. On our turn, at least. We'll activate this. It's a land, which is mainly what we want to hit with these with this one. So we'll play the land. I don't think. Well, let's see. I mean, we can go River Regent, bouncing this, and or I'm sorry. If we bounce this, I guess they could always get the other one back, or they can always hit this one back. Yeah, let's do that. Bounce this and this. This enters, we'll bounce these two. And we could try to just play the third one here. Then they would have to answer all three of them. I don't want to really overcommit just in case they have like a board wipe. Yeah, this is fine. Plus we also have this defeat which we can use to exile. Oh, this is gonna look so pretty. Yeah, we defeat, and we're just gonna start this interesting chain. So yeah, exile this. They got to 10. Bounce these two. I'm pretty sure this is. Yeah, I was gonna say. Pretty sure it's game over. Game over, man. Alright, so against Azorius artifacts, I'm assuming that there's no splash red here, so I think it's just straight up blue-white. We're going to bring in things like Duress, Tidebinder, Negates, Conqueror for sure. This is another card that's great against this matchup. Seems like the Forgotten Lore I can see bringing in. I think Lightning Helix is bad, and I think Get Lost is also bad. So that's our 60 right there if we just want to ship it back. I guess Long Goodbye we could keep, but it could also deal with construct tokens. And same thing with like Final Showdown and Ultima. I believe if we do Final Showdown, all creatures lose abilities. It's kind of like Dress Down in this case. For those kind of familiar with Modern, Dress Down makes all creatures lose abilities. So in this case, if they have an army of constructs, we can just spend 2 mana. So it's kind of like, really like Dress Down, just minus the card draw. The only thing I kind of want to consider bringing in is Sinks, just because we have a lot of these like instants and sorceries that actually have a lot of value against them. So if we do bring in Sinks of the Forgotten Lore, what are we bringing in for it? I mean, I think our deck is actually looking alright here. So I think we just ship it back with just what we have here. Yeah, if Get Lost could also hit artifacts, we would keep those in, but unfortunately it does not. Well, here we have this, but of course it does allow us to cast No More Lies, but this is where our archive works with Verge. Yeah, definitely not missing Starting Town. I know there could be an argument for saying like, well, Starting Town would be great if one of these was a Starting Town, because then you have access to all colors of mana. But here we actually have mana to actually cast our defeat. So I do want to keep this. I'm just kind of wondering on what to lead with. Probably most likely just a tap land. I think if we were on the play game 1 here, I'd probably lead with a Water Grave, but obviously we wouldn't have these in our main deck. So basic planes, nothing really scary on turn 2, but we just kind of want to set up our turn for maybe, let's see, I think we just play a tap land, follow this up, and then follow this up on turn. I mean, I think we use duress on a turn where we kind of want to play this into Conqueror of some sort, so yeah, Archive is fine, and I think their scary threats are basically on turn 3. Yeah, we'll keep a River Regent since we can at least cast the Omen side. Alright, turn 2, nothing here, which is great. Yeah, we'll play this and just hold up No More Lies. Alright, so I think they're mostly just mono white, just the blue splashes for Synthesizer and Bay. Yeah, and we don't want to cast stock up here because we would have a total of 6 cards, so we'll just play this Water Rage tapped and pass back. Oh yeah, we'll definitely normalize that. Oh, and we draw another one right on time. Perfect. Yeah, let's duress here in case they have another one. Okay, these 3 cards don't really matter, so we'll definitely hit Synthesizer. We do have the answer with No More Lies, but these cards do absolutely nothing against us. This is obviously for tapped creatures, so we can play Conqueror and just never attack with it. And also another thing too is they couldn't even cast it because they are yet to draw blue mana. Doesn't play a lot of basic lands in this deck. Alright, so we'll lead with a stock up. Ultima is pretty good here. Corey is also good. Surprisingly enough, I don't even know if I need this Ultima, because we could always get another one with Consult. So let's do these 2. And then play our basic planes, just so we have mana open for No More Lies or negate Consult, but I want to be able to kick this. Well, we're definitely making our land drops here. Alright, so 3 islands, so I think we play Corey, and then we can have 4 mana for this, and then 2 mana for one of these. Yeah, I think this is gonna, yeah. This matchup, I am yet to lose against. I think we played against this matchup 4 times, and we're yet to lose. I guess they're just flashing that in just so they can craft it. And that's fine. Luckily enough, Conqueror stops that. Yeah, Notable Defeat and River Regent. Yeah. I think having 4 of these in the deck is so much better than the Mystical Teachings. Just, you have 4 of these and it just matters so much. So, because we have 7 mana, we can actually hold up protection for this. Yeah, let's do that. I don't see what our opponent can do with 4 mana here, so I think we're safe to just play... Well, actually, we can play this untapped and then hold up mana for River Regent in case they don't do anything. And we have Inevitable Defeat. Yeah, let's just do that. And they can't even Pinnacle Starcage this. Wow. Discard a card to draw a card. It's fine by us. Yeah, we'll do a River Regent here, draw 3 and discard 2. I think Long Goodbye is just not something that we need here. Good card, but don't need it here. Yeah. Yeah, Conqueror also stopping craft. I don't know. I might actually consider this probably my best card in the sideboard. This card comes up quite a bit. It's too bad this is not an artifact land. Alright, so end of turn we'll activate this query. Inevitable defeat, we might as well just use it just to get rid of this. Seems like that island is late to the party. Oh, duh. We even did note earlier that probably don't want to attack with this thing because of this. Brun's really not doing anything here. And I kind of just want to be able to like kill our opponent with this. Of course, we have River Region that we can always just just play as a threat. So we're just gonna negate. If they have a negate, we can go normalize. I mean, we have another one in our hand. Synthesizer. Yeah, we'll normalize this one. I mean, we could also just have let it resolve too and just defeat that one. Probably would have made sense to actually not counter it. Yeah, because like I would rather normalize this one. Sec. So we'll play Cauldron, or sorry, attack with Cauldron. And as silly as it may be, I think we'll just play this. Just as a 6/7 creature with flying. This is lethal alone. Braid Net. That's fine. They have 4 mana open, so I could see it being a Day of Judgment. I mean, that card, they need 1 more mana, so that can resolve as well too. We have Inevitable Defeat. This is just lethal by itself. And plus, they can't even use Braided Net on Conqueror anyways. Because, again, activate ability with Conqueror. Reason why this card is so good, especially against this matchup. So, awesome. We are 3-0. Stay tuned for round 4. Alright. We're playing round 4, and we are on the play against a Teferi. So I wonder if we're playing against another mirror match. Well, if it is a mirror match, we are definitely shipping this back. I think regardless, even if it's an aggro matchup, I think we still mulligan this. A little bit better, we are missing our red for Lightning Helix. I can just see just kind of shipping the Lightning Helix. So let's do that. Of course, my luck will probably hit a, what is that? A mountain source. I think we lead with Archive, just in case we top deck a No More Lies. Could have just led with Village here, or even just a Shockland. Get Lost seems kind of fine to keep on top just because we don't know, and Get Lost has a lot of good matchups, or a lot of uses, rather. Like here, we can actually get Lost as Elves, which may seem kind of silly to do, but I'm actually all for it. They always say, like, bolt the bird. With maybe another line of Orals? Okay. So, okay, we did draw our red source. Yeah, if we would have kept our Lightning Helix, I would for sure Helix this Elves. So I guess the question is, do we kill this and hope that they only have 2 mana? I think I'd rather get Lost on, like, I'm pretty sure they'll have a 3rd land. And I think we lead with this since it's going to come into play tapped. Yeah. we do have this Shattery Backstreet. Okay, so Esper Origins. So some green-black mid-range deck. Ah, this is Insidious Roots. Okay, cool. I just played against this at my last RCQ. I think it's a good matchup, because again, this is another matchup, speaking of Conqueror, great against, just because all this right here is what Conqueror likes to see, just activated abilities. Get lost, so yeah, Conqueror will for sure be coming in. That's kind of interesting. This main board, it's another thing Conqueror stops. Alright, so we'll play their land here, so that way we have mana open for, well, inedible defeat, but we don't have, well, I'm sorry, we do have it here. Not sure if we're actually going to use it yet, but we'll see, because I think our opponent could end up using the flashback on Esper Origins. Though I think if they do, I don't think we kill it. I think we just want to draw into some answers here. Insidious Roots, I think, yeah. Pretty sure you would want to keep that. So we know for sure they're drawing that next turn, so I think, yeah, we will have to River Region here. They can attack for 4, we're at 14 at this point. Says Soul Cauldron. So everyone would have Scavenging Ooze abilities. Interesting. I mean, we could also try to draw a ultimate here. See what our opponent tries to do here. So I guess they could be dealing 5 damage to us. Alright. Yeah, we'll, let's go dig in here. Yeah, no more lays, let's see. Yeah, they could just pay for it with Insidious Roots. I think just getting rid of that is fine. Of course, we draw more lands after that. Yeah, we'll keep a Lightning Helix. I think I'd rather have defeat for Insidious Roots. Okay. So each of these creatures will have that ability. That's what I'm concerned about. Let's see. Scavenging Ooze, there's only one creature. Luckily our deck doesn't really play any creatures other than River Region. So yeah, we'll take 5 here, maybe 6. Nope. Okay, so they're playing that. Actually, that's kind of cool, because with Soul Cauldron, they can use this to, actually, this makes sense that they have this main board, because this is an answer to Soul Cauldron. So, if we defeat this, this is, exiled. Of course, if we draw an ultimate, that's also really good for us too, so, yeah, let's just pass. I mean, we have the Lightning Helix on top anyways. Of course, we can only play one of these spells each turn. Oh, crap, yeah. Yeah, we can defeat and get lost, but we can't go defeat and Lightning Helix since we only have one red. See if our opponent uses Soul Cauldron for anything here. If they go Soul Cauldron on the elves, then we can... Let's see, there's a delay trigger, so they have to announce a target. Okay. And they chose an Ooze. Okay. I'm going to attack him for 6 here. We'll go down to 6. And they're just going to cast their Esper Origins. Not even fearing any counterspells here. Okay, not a bad one. Kind of wish we did use defeat on one of these though. Let's definitely put up a good fight here. So there's only 2 creatures in their graveyard. God, I really want to use defeat on Soul Cauldron. So I think we go kill this, or sorry, exile this. And really tough here though, because this thing would die next turn. I guess we do gain the 3 life here. What are they doing with just 2 mana? Let's see, I guess they're gonna go Insidious Roots. We go down to 3 here. Yeah, let's kill this because this will die next turn. Of course, I would not be surprised if we draw a ultimate here. Yeah, this makes sense because now they can use the Scavenging Ooze ability to exile 2 creatures. Looks like they're not going to do that yet. Okay. Yeah, this is where I really want to see a, well, Notable Defeat is also good too. So we have 8 mana and we can go Consult and Inedible Defeat. We also can go Defeat here. So we'll give it +2/+2. I'm not really too worried about that. I think we want to do this now while we can. Cool. I thought our mana got tapped weirdly where we couldn't kick this. Oh, I guess they could also, yeah, they can Cauldron in response. Oh, other creatures. Okay, yeah, I messed up. It's other creatures. I thought it was target creature. Shit. Okay, I totally screwed that up. Alright. My apologies there. Alright. Yeah, this is supposed to be a good matchup for us. I don't remember playing against this card. Yeah, other creatures you control get +2/+2. I kept reading that as target creature gets +2/+2, so that was a mistake on my end. I think, yeah, we were supposed to exile this, and these creatures would not be strong. Yeah, we probably could have won that. Alright, we'll try to make it up for games 2 and 3. Alright, so probably get rid of these 3 steps ahead, just 3 mana counter spells while we have some of these. No More Lies probably gets taken out too. I could actually just see taking all these out. Negates would probably actually be better because No More Lies just kind of ends up being a dead card, especially when they have so much mana to use. So we just need to take out 4 cards here. We are on the place that we could probably just keep a stock up here. Long goodbye. Like, we want to keep in these like removal spells, show like board wipes and everything here. I guess we'll take out a stock up. What else did we see here? Mostly creatures, but we want to be able to answer things like Roots, Esper Origins. I wonder if this is a matchup where Revelation just kind of gets taken out. I think that's what I did last time. So yeah, let's try this. Yeah, I kind of messed up there. Definitely a punt for sure. So, but yeah, this one we'll try to make up for it. Yeah, we'll keep this. We have Flash Rays to counter their Insidious Roots. Okay. So I think we lead with this. I'm thinking of their turn 2 play here. Cash grab. Not really worried about that. They could actually whiff here. I could see them hitting a land drop. Okay, so they hit. Alright. That's a 1/1/2, so our fire magic will be phenomenal against these 1/1s. Opponent contemplating of attacking here. I don't say why not. You have nothing to lose for it. This is a Vigilance, Reach, Death Touch. Really good against our River Regents, that's for sure. Yeah, they opted out to not attack there. That's interesting. Alright. So we'll play Verge, and then have mana open for Fire Magic and Flash Rays, which is kind of nice here. Yeah, really punted that game 1 there. Yeah, we were supposed to inedible defeat the, what is that, this side, the Summon Esper Madoon. Madoon. Yeah. Oh, they have another one. Yeah, we won't Flash Raise that. In fact, this Fire Magic's looking pretty cute here. Yeah, we will definitely Flash Raise that one. Yeah, I don't know why our opponent's not attacking with these Dragon Snipers. Makes no sense to me. I mean, we should be at 18 at least. Oh, now they attack. Took them a minute. Not saying our opponent's bad or anything. I'm sure they were probably playing around something that I may not even be thinking. Okay, this fire magic. Oh my god, this fire magic is going to be awesome. Alright, so we're going to kick this. Oh, we see 2 lands here. That's funny. Or 4 lands, but we're obviously picking 2 here. Yeah, we'll just take the Verge lands. Exile a card from a graveyard. So they could have 6 mana next turn. Yeah. Yeah, 1 mana, let's get rid of all these, shall we? Also important to note, Long Goodbye can also hit the Esper Origins. I think we counter this. Oh yeah, that costs 4 mana. Let's play an untapped land. And we'll do like a kicked consult the star charts. Depending on what our opponent does here, they could try to play this next turn. We can try to draw like a counter spell or something like that. I mean, of course we have Long Goodbye for it too. Scavenging Ooze. Well, actually, we took out all our No More Lies, so yeah, this Long Goodbye is a good answer for this. Yeah. We activate this. Now our opponent could actually, in response, eat some creatures. So this, if they're wanting to play cautiously around Lightning Helix, now we can't. We could pick up the Lightning Helix. Say Fire Magic will actually take care. Well, actually, you know what? 3 damage to each creature. I've been treating this as just a 1 mana deal 1 damage to all creatures. I mean, we could also use the one of these extra abilities. I want to be able to get just this and this. Yeah, we'll go back to our turn, 6 mana. Alright, so I think in response, we'll put a stop on the end step. Let's see if our opponent tries to activate the city, or maybe try to activate twice. If they activate with their Scavenging Ooze and use the last green, we'll use Fire Magic to deal 2 damage to each, or I'm sorry, 3 damage to each creature. Alright. I'm gonna stop here. So we'll actually deal 2 damage since they... Yeah. This is even better. Excellent. Yeah, they decided to make a token instead. Interesting that our opponent's not playing the Esper Origins. I wonder if they're, like, maybe trying to play, like, maybe try to draw into a Duress first. We'll see. Yeah, I really think we should have won game 1. Alright, opponent making a token. Yeah, they definitely have a lot of creatures in their graveyard. This is where Rest in Peace really shines. We did take out normal, or I think, yeah, 3 steps ahead. Alright, Cauldron is really good here. Oh man, we have a lot of... Sometimes I wish I could pick more than just 2 cards. Cauldron's also really good here too. But I think in this case we actually take Defeat and River Regent. Opponent mills 4 cards over. They can only take a creature here. I wonder if our opponent actually plays Esper. Nope. Alright. We'll exile this now while we can. Alright. Play this tap land. Yeah, I think we'll just pass. They'll make another token. And they have to run out of creatures eventually out of that graveyard. Or is it 2 creatures I'm seeing? Okay. Well, now they're playing it. It's kind of weird that they're playing it now since we could normalize it. That's fine. What's good here is we can actually use Long Goodbye to kill this Fang. It would actually be exiled. Oh, I thought that was a basic plains there. Okay. 6. Bounce both of these tokens. I think we pay the 2 life just so we have options for all 3 of these. Can't imagine our opponent wants to attack into the 6/7. Ooh. Glad we held up mana for this. Kind of a spicy one to see. I'm guessing that's probably out of the sideboard. The 6/7 can answer the 6/6, thankfully enough. We also have this Long Goodbye to kill it. Of course, they can give all their other creatures +2/+2. I think that's why I'm so used to the final ability, because I'm used to just seeing 1 creature in play with this card. Alright, Shadowy Backstreet. Don't need that. Would be surprised if the green-black deck is playing any counterspells at this point. Yeah, we don't want to use Long Goodbye on this. Could use Long Goodbye on the 8/8. Insidious Roots. As of right now, they have 2 creatures and a Scavenging Ooze. What is this? When this creature enters, if there are 4 or more permanent cards in your graveyard, return target permanent. Oh, so they can return another Roots. Either another Roots or Soul Cauldron. Which it makes sense that they're probably going to another Roots. But I think we might be able to kill. Well, we have Long Goodbye to answer this 8/8. Let's see what they do with it. I can see them attacking with it. Okay. Yeah, we'll just take the damage. They're gonna wait another turn for that. Alright, so we will strike back. Put our opponent down to 10. Dang. It's too bad they're not at 9. Well, if they use that starting town for something, then that could actually be rather interesting. Okay, so they could return a creature here. We can get lost and stop one of these. They're going to make a lot of tokens here. Oh, how do I feel about that? I mean, Ooze is only getting... There's only 2 creatures. Let's see, they have to make it at least a target. We also have to keep in mind that there's these 2 creatures in play. Alright. 0, 1. Go away. Alright. Get rid of this and do we? I don't even. Well, no. We need to top deck the Lightning Helix for the win here. My opponent can't use this mana just yet. One creature left in the graveyard. Alright. Draws a land. So kill. 3, 4. Yeah, we just attack. And just hope our opponent can't kill us here because we have Lightning Helix to get rid of this and get lost to get rid of the other 4. And we got down to 10. Luckily enough, these don't gain flying. That 2 life is actually really important. Interesting. Okay. Oh my god. They got a creature. Damn. That's a bummer. Yeah, so we have to kill this and this. Or I think we're just dead, aren't we? God, this is such a good matchup for us, too. Yeah, we punted game 1. Damn. Alright. Rest in Peace would have definitely saved us here. Yep. Because we can't Lightning Helix. We can Lightning Helix here. Kill this. 8, 11. God, they got us good here. Alright. Well, that's unfortunate, because I feel like this is a really good matchup for us. Alright, well, 3-1. Alright, we're going to go into round 5 here. Yeah, fortunately, we kind of punched our game 1 in our last round against Insidious Roots. I think it's still a good matchup for us, but man, we did not get there, unfortunately. So we'll try to make up for this one. What do we feel about this hand? We are on the draw. 3 spells we can cast, and we can eventually be able to cast this. We'll give it a shot. I know it's 2 lands here. To no surprise, we're probably going to end the night with another Izzet Cauldron deck. No. Not what we want to see. No more lies. Tempting, but we have to bin it. Cool. Okay. I assume that every Izzet deck is just Izzet Cauldron at this point. Six, 9, 8. So I don't think we want to cast River Region just yet. And we'll pay 2 life just so we can start using Quarry Mountain. Yeah, we'll counter this for sure. Kind of wish we didn't have to pay the 2 life now. Oh, our opponent not doing anything here. This is good for us. Land. Excellent. Just what we want to see. Kind of almost tempted to just play River Region, but because we can't 3 steps ahead. We'll be a little bit patient here. I don't even know if we want to discard Ultima. Let's actually discard 3 steps ahead since we can't really cast it. I mean, we can cast it to draw 2 discard. So yeah, definitely Cauldron here. Yeah, well, inevitable defeat here. Now, if they want to kill off their own creature, that's fine. Excellent. Yeah. I think this is good for us if our Cauldron player is not doing anything. I think this is like, what, turn 6 for them? I'm kind of just wanting to play... Wait, we can't. Duh. Missing the second land, or second island to cast this. That's fine. That is also fine. They have 1 card. This will become a 3/3. We can just use Ultimate just to... What is this? Oh, Wild Ride, got it. I mean, we can just take the 3 damage here. I think bouncing both of these is also fine. I guess hope that we just, if we draw into a River Region, that's also fine. Let's see what we exile. The land, which is perfect. Yeah, we almost just want to hit lands every time we activate this. So yeah, we'll cast this, bounce both of these, make them recast it. We also have a Get Lost. God, this will be interesting that if we beat 2 Cauldron decks, but we lose to the Roots deck. I honestly think that's a really good matchup for us. Alright, Abrade and Mako. So this will be a 6/6. They have 5 cards, okay. We'll just kill this now. Attack for 6. I think our opponent's dead next turn. Assuming that they tap out here now. Braden VV. Soul Cauldron. So, yeah, this is pretty much what develops the combo here. We will make you recast this, deal 4 damage to this. I would assume our opponent's dead next turn. Well, interesting enough, we actually probably should have targeted the map token, because if they do have a torch the tower, I guess they're still... Well, no, we could just get lost one of our own creatures here. So, yeah, let's just attack here. But even with a torch, I see. They have that. Probably was the greedy line to play here, but I think that's okay, because we have double get lost. I almost really don't want to give our opponent another turn here, but let's see what our opponent can potentially do here. If you're missing out, that's 2 mana. They play a Soul Cauldron, we'll use Get Lost on this. Alright, cool. I think that was our opponent's only out there, so good for us. We will take it. Alright, we'll pretty much bring in the same cards again that we did in our last round, so we will take out 2 more of these. Take out the Jeskai Revelation. What was the other card that we took? Oh yeah, stock up since we're on the draw here. Yeah, no more lies, just because they can generate a bunch of mana here. In fact, I kind of want to bring in a Duress. And I probably brought in negates here. No more lies. Just because we want to use negates on like the more important cards in the late game. Plus we can also counter their stuff too. Where are we? Let's see. Because we definitely want to keep Lightning Helix in for this matchup. Could see taking out Inevitable Defeat, Final Showdown, but Final Showdown's in this deck for a good reason. Yeah, we'll take out a Inevitable Defeat here. Get Lost pretty much kind of takes care of all their cards except for Soul Cauldron. Alrighty. So important to note, this comes into play tapped until we get a red source. I think this is okay to keep because we can at least use this 2 mana for Get Lost. It almost feels like we're playing blue-white control here. Go. Alright, so we'll surveil here. See a red source, we'll definitely keep that on top. Cauldron. Excellent. Opponent having a faster start this time. This is really what the deck's capable of doing. I think the fact they were not doing anything for 3 turns was insane. Ugh. I really hate the fact that if we get lost this, then they just have it in the graveyard. That's why this deck is so good. Yeah. But I think we have to get lost, and then they have to... Okay. Yeah, I don't like it, but it just... We have to get rid of Vivi here. This will be a 2-2. Yeah, actually, I feel like we kind of get... We should probably take out the Get Lost sometimes. Yeah, we're not doing anything on turn 2 here, so we will just put this to play tapped, pass to them. Kind of wish we had this negate for this Soul Cauldron, unfortunately, but... Of course, one thing to note, we could have played this in case we if we do draw a black source. But I'm kind of all in on this Ultima. And I'm kind of hoping that they, what is it, they tap out. Let's see what they do here. Okay, so they draw 2, maybe discard 2. Unless you discard an instant or sorcerer card. Probably want to discard 2 so they can make this thing a 4/4. Yep. This is what this deck does best, of course. This is why everyone's kind of calling for a pan for this deck. Of course, our opponent's tapping out for this. That's rather interesting. So we kind of fog 4 damage here, which is not bad for us. I think here we do have to consult the star charts. Kind of makes me wish we did play this inedible or set up mana for inedible defeat. Oh god. Quantum Riddler, that's good too. So let's see, we're facing 12 damage next turn. Another Ultima. Not sure if we'll be able to make it to the next turn, but we'll try it. Well, it's a black source. We'll keep it. Next turn we'll play Verge here and just try to Ultima. So opponent with 6 mana. That's insane. It's ridiculous on how good this deck is. Hopefully our opponent just taps out and just doesn't have enough to kill us for 18, but they can definitely get us out of nowhere here. This is 10, wow, 11, 13. Ouch. I'm pretty sure our opponent has some kind of counter magic here. I have to hope that this resolves. Yep. Yeah, they got us. Alright, so game 3. Wonder if we make any changes here. I don't think so. Yeah. I mean, I think Ultima is still important to have. I don't think we'd take it out at all. I mean, had that result, we would have just wiped out their board clean. Of course, it doesn't mean that we win the game there, because they could have just always played like a, what is it, a Terra, draw 2 cards, discard 2, and 5/5, kill us for 5, and that's lethal. So, alright. Ew. So tempting. If we draw any land, this Cauldron is really good, and Get Lost in Lightning Helix can at least buy us some time. I kind of want to keep this. I would actually take just even, well, let's see. Yeah. I would take a Water Grave at this point. Pretty much any land. So, we'll lead with this. Or I guess we probably should have led with this. another slow start for our opponent. Excellent. Yeah, we're gonna just play Cauldron here. Kind of hoping our opponent just took out like their removal. That does stop that. I'm fine with that. Alright, so no black source here. I think... Is there a reason to put this in play untapped? I don't think so. Just mainly because we want to hold up maybe like for both spells here. I don't think so. I could see this being a Tidebinder mage turn. Important to note that actually comes into play untapped thanks to Sacred Foundry. I don't know, we're looking pretty good here. Our opponent's kind of doing the same thing that they're doing from game 1. Alright, Stone... Okay, so they have Sanctuary here. Unfortunately, we can't counter that. Let's see what they discard here. Could discard 2 cards if they choose to not discard a creature. I guess, well, you can choose to discard a creature and another card. Ah, very timely here. I think we'd Lightning Helix this. Or do... Because I don't think we want to get lost this. I'm just thinking because like the damage could end up mattering here. Also important to note, if they turn this into a creature, they can't tap it for mana. High Noon. That will actually be useful. If they want to Spell Pierce this, that's fine. I can see Into the Flood Maul. See what their 1 spell per turn is, unless they do have a Into the Flood Maul. Quantum Riddler. Alright, so thankfully we actually saved the Get Lost for this. Cool. So yeah, we'll Get Lost this. And good to also know too, they can't even use the map tokens thanks to Conquer. Alright. Feeling pretty good about this. Nice deck. Thank you. Alright, well, we attack for 5. Alright. So they're choosing to bounce this, obviously, because if they take it, they got down to 5, and they lose to this High Noon. So... goes back to our hand, which now they can activate all of this. So we'll play Conqueror again. And ship it back to them. Sanctuary cannot block this because it does not have flying, it has all creature types. Alright, looks like they're digging. Hopefully we cut this, like... It'll be nice to go 2-0 against the Cauldron decks tonight. I guess the question is, do we flash in this Tidebinder just so they have to have an answer for both? Yeah, let's just do that. Now this might be a bit of a slow roll, but we're just gonna pass. good game, probably. Alright. Finally, our opponent came back. They might have even disconnected from the internet there too, but almost seemed like that was a rope. But yeah, we at least beat another Izzet Cauldron deck. But yeah, stay tuned for the deck review, and stay tuned for that. We got our entry back. Here we are for the deck review. We just played our Azorius Met Rakdos control deck, also known as Jeskai Black. So the deck performed great. Sadly, we lost to Insidious Roots, which I think is really a good matchup for us, and we played it in our last RCQ on paper. Did get a clean 2-0 against our opponent in that, but of course I think it was just due to really good draws. Conqueror is just insane against that matchup since they can't tap for their abilities and just shuts off a lot of cards. But yeah, we'll go over this deck really quick and just see if there's any changes that we want to make. I kind of really like the list 75 overall. I could see like in the sideboard probably having like 2 Bezas just for more life gain and just having more threats in the deck. Our sideboard plan can kind of develop into more creatures, since our only creature in this deck main board is River Regent. But yeah, the deck felt great. I don't recommend Mystical Teachings since we did play against a mirror match earlier, and I think that was kind of funny. We only played game 1 against them, but I guess they decided to concede game 2 probably because of this card. This card was phenomenal against them. Yeah, deck felt great overall. I do like the fact that I did trim on a Lightning Helix. We used to play 4, but we're running 3 and then having a long goodbye. This kind of came up quite a bit. Pretty situational, of course, but answers a VV effectively without it, having to deal with any kind of counter magic. We didn't really see much with Final Showdown. It did show up, but just didn't really use it as much. But I still think this is also, again, another card that's good against the VV decks. Instant Speed, Wrath did come up against an Izzet Cauldron deck, was it at my last RCQ, where we just got to wipe out their board before attack. So really, really good card. I like the fact that this is instant speed. Of course, it is 6 mana to do so. Ultima, still a good card against the Cauldron decks going around. So just artifacts and creatures. We did play against a Azorius artifacts deck, which, yeah, we're yet to even lose against that matchup. I think that's our best matchup overall. But yeah, having main board Ultima for that deck is also extremely good. The 1-0 stock up is also great. I just prefer more star charts since overall this is like a draw go kind of deck, and the only cards that we're really kind of casting at sorcerer speed are like these 2 cards. Other than that, it's your simple draw go deck. Mana base is good. I can still see kind of tweaking a little bit of it, just maybe like taking out maybe like the backstreet for maybe Thundering Falls of some sort, but we want to kind of have access to a lot of our blacks since we have like, what is it, 7 black sources here. But that's what we kind of get for not playing Starting Town, since Starting Town can give us any mana. But again, shown in the deck tech earlier, I just don't like Starting Town. And as the games go along, I just feel like it just becomes too much, again, like a liability. So sideboard felt great. I don't know if I want to make any changes to it just yet, but the only card I can see taken out is like Sings of the Forgotten Lore, but I love this card way too much. We could try to take these out for Bezas, but just for the Cauldron matchups, but we're not even bringing these in against the Izzet Cauldron, and we have so much hate against the Cauldron deck that I don't know if we really need Beza. I could see this deck actually running Beza just for the life gain, just the overall value, but yeah, I think the sideboard is great. I don't know if I would make any changes to it just yet. Fire Magic was great against the the Insidious Roots deck, even though we did end up losing yeah, both games. But yeah, game 1 I definitely did punt that one. we could have maybe won game 1, but yeah, game 2 got pretty close. They just got there good with their plants. Almost got there in game 2 too. So, but yeah, if you like this deck, I recommend trying it out at your local RCQ. If you're, grinding the RCQ standard, I know VV is the most dominant deck right now, and if you're looking for a deck that would be a good solid answer to this meta right now, I recommend this for sure. I know Revelation is kind of an expensive card, but like this card in game 1 can win you so many games out of nowhere. Even against the Cauldron matchups, you can still win with this. It's 7 mana, it's a lot. Can probably get you free game 1 wins against them when the games go long, but I recommend sideboarding these out against the Cauldron matchups and just bringing in cheaper spells. But yeah, and Revelation, I'll make note of that really quick too. Great card. Of course, it does get taken out quite a bit. Doesn't mean that it's a bad card overall. You just take it out for the matchups where the decks are much faster than you. So like 7 mana, you just don't want to commit to that. But yeah, you just commit to like cheap creatures, cheap counter spells, and kind of just go from there. But yeah, looking for a deck to fight against the VV matchups. This is definitely the deck for you. I also can also recommend Azorius Control being another solid answer to it too. So, but yeah, that is the deck review. Hope you like the matchups. After this, I'll probably do another deck, legacy deck, since, this coming Sunday is a legacy tournament in my local meta, or local area, so looking forward to playing some more legacy, and maybe I'll try to do another post. Phyrexian Dreadnought, one of those Dreadnought decks, or maybe like Nadu combo. So we'll see how it goes, but other than that, I appreciate you all watching, and if you have any questions, leave it in the comments, and I'll surely answer them too. So, but yeah, recommend the deck, try it out. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching.
Yes! 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 Oh! Oh, yes! Yes! Oh! 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 Oh, God. Oh. I'll have what she's having.